This volume TradingView indicator is very different from traditional volume, but is it actually better? In today's video, we will take a look at 4 things you need to know about this indicator. First, how do we find and open up the indicator in TradingView? Second, what are the best markets and timeframes to use this indicator on? Third, what are the most important settings we need to understand? And fourth, and most importantly, how do we use the indicator correctly and how is the indicator different from the traditional volume? So the very first thing we want to do here is to open up a clean chart in TradingView. Right now, as I'm speaking, I'm looking at Bitcoin on a 1-hour time frame. And later on in this video, you will understand why I'm on the 1 hour. But now, to open up the indicator, we want to navigate up here to the Indicators tab. And what we want to search for here is 24H volume. And the indicator we want to choose is not even here. I think we might need to write 24. Okay, so it's enough to just write 24H. And the indicator we want to open is this one at the top called 24-hour volume. So now before we can start using the indicator, we need to know on what time frames and in what markets this indicator works the best. The time frames I recommend for this indicator is the 115-minute, 1 hour and 4-hour time frame. As for the best markets, I recommend using it trading cryptocurrency or Forex, or any other market that trades for 24 hours a day. The reason why will be clear very soon. But first, let's take a look at the most important settings. So to change the settings for this indicator, we go down here to where it says 24H and we press on the settings tab. Let's go over here to the inputs tab. And the first setting is the price source setting. This setting changes how the indicator converts volume into currency. And as you can see, the standard setting here is close. For a bit smoother conversion, I recommend using the OHLC4 or open high low close 4. But for this indicator, this is not super important. You can stick with the close here. I will use the open high low close 4, but it will not make a big difference. That said, the next setting, the target currency, is much more important because depending on what currency you want to use, the indicator will convert the volume into different currencies. So if we use the default, since we are on the Bitcoin measured in US dollar, the indicator will automatically display the volume in US dollars. But if you, for example, change the currency to, let's say, Japanese yen, you will see that the currency type to the left here will change. So make sure, guys, to choose the right currency you want on the indicator. Since we are on the Bitcoin USD, I'm gonna choose USD right here. As for the 24-hour volume setting right here, and because of how this volume indicator works, we can actually display this indicator as a line if you prefer that. But I think for educational purposes, I'm gonna use the column setting here, so I can show you guys in a simple step-by-step manner how this indicator works. So now we're ready to press OK. So now then, how does this indicator work and how is it different from the traditional volume indicator? Let's actually go up here to the indicators tab and open up the traditional volume, and we can clearly see that these two indicators are very different. However, they are correlated. So let's, for example, take a look at this price action right here. As you guys can see, starting around here, the Bitcoin price saw a pretty strong trend here towards the downside. And if you look at the volume bars here, we can see that the volume is starting to increase during the downtrend. But if you take a look at the 24-hour volume, you can see that the volume bars are displayed in a very different manner. And that is because each bar on the 24-hour volume will display the total volume in the last 24 hours, while each bar on the normal volume indicator will display the volume during that particular candle. And this can actually make it much easier to see trends in volume. So for example, during this price decline right here, we can clearly see that the volume is rising here. The 24-hour volume is rising. And sure, you can see this on the traditional volume as well, but here with the 24-hour volume, it's much easier to see trends in volume. And a very useful way to use the volume indicator is to look for convergence and divergence. And what do I mean by this? Well, in order to have a strong trend, what we want to see here is that we want to see rising volume. So for example, during this downtrend right here, we can actually see that the volume started to rise already down here, and this is actually an indication that this might be a real trend towards the downside. So already at this point right here, we started to see the volume trend going up, and that is a clear warning sign that the price might start to go down. Let's take a look at another example right here. As we can see, if we look down here to the 24-hour volume, we can see that we started to see a sharp increase in volume all the way down here, and this was actually the beginning of a strong move towards the upside. Another way to use this indicator is to look for the opposite. So for example, let's take a look at this price right here. Right here, we can see that we had a strong move towards the upside, and especially the last candles here saw a very sharp increase in volume. However, during the pullback, which is the move against the direction of the price, we saw falling volume, right? And take a close look, when did the volume start to increase? Well, the volume started to really increase here when the price started to go up once again. This can be used as a confirmation of the breakout. So now guys, if you are really serious about day trading, I actually have a very long 1.5 hour day trading course here on YouTube that I really hope you will find lots of value in.